Hi, hello, welcome to the show. Looking ahead to racing on the weekend. On Saturday, we of course have a double header of local racing action. Time for us to head up north to the Highveld, where racing is at Turffontein on the Standside track. They have an 8-race program for the day, and the first gets underway at 12:55. You need to be on 5 minutes before that with your Hollywoodbet punted challenge selections. You need to make sure that you take the bet slip. Spend the $50, because that will put you in line for the big cash incentive prize if you are to be the one person, the one and only person, who correctly picks all 8 winners on this card, and you've taken the bet slip. You'll be an instant millionaire. Right, let's preview the May meeting. First race, a maiden juvenile plate over 1400, where 10 runners will contest the opening race on the card. Start with number 2, Porridge Boy. This one travelled down to Cape Town last time out and ran in the listed Summer Juvenile Stakes over 1100. Took on winners that day, didn't really raise a gallop, back on the Highveld, now going to try 1400. I do think going a little bit further, we can expect a little bit more improvement, so definitely one that needs to be included. I ever like the look of number 3, Tenjika. Now this horse has improved with each run. This horse showed nice toe last time out, over 1100 metres. Found one just too good on the day in the form of Allegantrix, and I do think there's still more to come, especially going over 1400. To me, the one they have to beat. So I'm going 3, Tenjika to win it, ahead of 2, Porridge Boy. For third, I'm going with 5, Winchester. I also think there's more to come from that one. And for fourth, I'm going with 4, Whispering Death. This one from the stable of Mike and Matthew de Kock, a first-timer by Denon Platina, a brother to Mrs. Browning and Aragosta, to maybe run into the back end of quartet. So I'm going 3-2, 5-4 in race number 1. Moving on to race 2, it's a maiden plate to be run over 1160 metres, where 10 runners will contest race 2 on the card. And I'm going to start with number 1, Mizzen Sword. This one stayed on, went fourth in a work riders race last time out. Jared Penny, who knows him well now, gets back on board. And I do think with Jared back on board, we can also expect an improved performance. So Mizzen Sword definitely one to be included. 8, Cyber Spirit has got fair form and I do think can run into the money. I like the look of number 9, Nkwenzi. Now, I think this horse is better than her last start over this course and distance. In fact, the horse that finished third that day was a horse called Great Notion, who subsequently come out and won. And I do think if this horse finds the form of her debut run, she should be competitive. So, we're going with 9, Nkwenzi to win it, ahead of 1, Mizzen Sword, 8, Cyber Spirit, and 10, Trial Runner. 9, 10, 1, 8 the numbers in race number 2. Third race on the card is a maiden plate for fillies. This one is over 1800 metres, and a small field of 8 runners will contest the third race on the card. And you know, if one sort of looks at the form, you'll realise none of them will really be going to Hollywood, because this is quite a moderate bunch, and you're probably going to need to put in at least a couple of them to safely see you through whatever exotics you're going to be playing on the day. I'm going with number 4, City Lights. Thought this horse is a model of consistency. Better than her last 2 starts. She did finish second 4 times from 6 starts over this distance. So that to me tells me that she could possibly be rewarded for consistency. You can't leave out 5, Spirit in the Wind from the Chris Jonker stable. This horse showed good improvement in her last start over 2,000 metres. If confirming that improvement, definitely needs to be included. Number 1, Rising Russian, set the pace last time out and tired. Also, if finding the form of the penultimate, could have a say. And then there's number 6, Pass the Baton, a chance on a repeat of a penultimate run. So you can see all of them, depending what they did and how they're going to run this time out, could possibly determine the outcome. So I'm going 4, 5, 1 and 6 with the numbers in race number 3. Moving on to the fourth race on the programme, it's a maiden plate where 13 runners will face the starter at the 1800 metre mark. Now here, I was sort of umming and eyeing whether I'm going to go with either 1, Santiago's Pride, 3, Light in the Storm, but as I went further down the card and I got to number 13, The Ultimate King, Tony Peter, Gavin Lorena, I thought, that's it. This is the horse that I'm going to go with, because this horse showed good improvement from first to second start, and you know that's the kind of horse that I like to go for. Was slow away that day, was staying on at the business end of affairs, and the horse that finished in second on that day was a horse called Spy Story, who has subsequently come out and franked that form and has given that form line a boost. Now steps up to 1800. From the wide draw, Gavin Lorena will have to place him well and produce him at the right time, and I do think 13, the Ultimate King, is the one to beat. I'm going for 13 ahead of 1, Santiago's Pride. I also think he should be involved in the finish. For third, number 2, Count Hutiku, who's also got decent form and still improving. And for fourth, number 5, Mystic Vision. 13, 1, 2 and 5 are the numbers I'm going with in race number 4. Fifth race on the card is a merit-rated 96 handicap, a race for 3-year-olds over 1800 metres and a field of 8 runners to contest race 5 on the programme. Another one of those races where you're probably going to need at least 2 or 3 of them to safely see you through. One Artist Medal is back from an 11-week break, last seen in action in the Dingans, and if this one is anywhere near fitness, I do think will run very well in this kind of company. 2 Don't Cry For Me, it's got decent form. Pierce Stradum retains the Rhine for Sean Tarry, also one that cannot be ignored. 3 On Target was an easy winner over this distance, certainly looks to have the ability and can do it back to back. So that's definitely a horse that we need to include. In fact, my marginal first choice is number 3 On Target, ahead of 2 Don't Cry For Me. For third, number 1 Artist Model, and for fourth I'm going with 5 Hat Trick or Treat. 3, 2, 1, 5, the numbers in race number 5. Race 6, merit rated 72 handicap over 1160, where 10 runners will face the starter, and here are a couple of them that are renewing rivalry, so there's lots of little things you need to take into account. I'll start with number 2, Vegas High Rise. I do think that this horse is better than that last start over the course and distance. In fact, this horse is 5 kilos better off at the weights, with number 3, Warm Wind Tonight, on that penultimate run for 1.25 length beating, and I do think that's enough to turn the tables. If we look at number 3, Warm Wind Tonight, certainly loves this course and distance. That was a good run last time out. And Warm Wind Tonight himself is a kilo better off at the weights, with number 8, Mariachi Madness, and that was for a 0.4 length beating. 4-1 Parties, another one that cannot be ignored, has placed in all 3 course and distance attempts. I thought number 5, Captain Efficient, with that solid form, needs to be included, and the booking of Muzieni I thought was a shrewd one. Muzi could make the difference. And then there's 8, Mariachi Madness, who got a £3 penalty for that last win. So you see, there's a lot that one needs to take into account when it comes to the 6th race on the card. I've narrowed it down to 2, 3, 4 and 8 in that order in race number 6. 7th race is the feature race on the card. It's the Grade 3 London News Stakes over 1600, where 8 runners will go to post, and some familiar names are taking their place in the lineup. I'll start with number 1, Purple Pitcher. Now this horse I thought had excuses last time out when returning not striding out. That was over a trip short of his best. I'm sure that this horse would have been, sharpened up and gotten ready for this run. On the penultimate run, when second in the Summer Cup, this horse certainly is a horse that cannot be ignored in this kind of lineup, will be up handy, and definitely will be doing his best work in the run to the line. 2 Silver Sanctuary came to Cape Town, ran in the Grade 1 Cartier Paddock Stakes last time out. In fact, 2 runners have come out and won from that form line. Raskova on midday won the Mallorca, and also on midday, Rainbow Lorikeet won the Grade 3 Summer Fling Stakes. So, that form line has certainly held up well, and Silver Sanctuary is a must inclusion in the London News. Son of Raj, another one from the stable of Tony Peter, with Gavin Lorena on board, having his peak run, cannot be ignored. And then there's 5 None Other, easy winner over 2,000 metres last time out, comes in with a nice galloping weight of 54 kilos. Ryan Munger now gets the ride for Lucky Hudelakas, and I do think from up handy she could kick away and may be hard to peg back. So you can see there are a number of them that we can make a case for, but we need to narrow it down. I'm going 1 Purple Picture as my first choice selection, ahead of 3, 2 and 5. And that takes us on to the last race on the card. Race 8, a merit-rated 96 handicap to be run over 1,000 metres in a field of 10 runners to contest the last of the afternoon. And here, I thought it would maybe be easier going into the last, where we could possibly just go with 1 or 2 horses, but I do think we again need to add in a couple. We're going to have to include the likes of 1 Swing Upon a Star, who had excuses last time out, not striding out, does get the services of a 4-kilo Claiming Happy. That should make the difference, and I think on his previous form, he could have a say in this particular lineup. Number 2, Don't Shoot the Barman, 1 carrying 64 kilos last time out over the course and distance. I do think with that form line having been franked by the horse that finished 6th, a horse called Var Party, has given that form line a boost. Should strip much fitter now, second one after rest. 3 Amdori also, decent last 2 efforts, hung inwards over the final 400 last time out, and definitely should have a say because this happens to be trainer Johan Janse van Vieren's only runner on the afternoon. And then there's 8 Wonderbosch, who ran a very good race last time, or a fair race last time out over the course and distance. And a couple of horses have come out of that form line, the likes of Armand C, who ran 2nd, and Address the Nation, who ran 7th. Both of them have come up and won next time out to give that form line quite a big boost. So that means that 5 Wonderbosch also needs to go in. And this horse's last win came under Gavin Larena, who happens to be back on board on Saturday. So a lot needs to be taken into account in the last race on the card. And I think you need to include all of 3, 5, 1 and 2 in whatever you're playing in the last of the afternoon. And that takes care of racing and our preview for Turffontein on Saturday afternoon. I trust you'll enjoy the afternoon, find as many winners, find the winner's queue. Till next time, from me, Rouvaun, cheers for now.